Upstairs, we're going to talk to the mayor. We'll see what he has to say. And they also made, in their initial deal that they wanted to make, they said that you won't sue Chief Crowley or the city. So they wanted to talk to Mayor Phelan. They come back down about 15 minutes later, and they said, look, do with Chief Crowley what you will, but you can't sue the city, meaning the mayor. And, you know, so we said, look, again, you know, we're not signing anything. So they refused to pay. Then we notified that day in person. We said, well, you know, he hasn't been paid yet at all, and nothing. So the director of personnel, Ms. Ketty, says, what do you mean he hasn't been paid? We said, he hasn't been paid a dime. It's been, what, over a year? And she says, well, I didn't know that. And then Grunenbaum, the attorney, says, oh, I didn't know that either. So our attorney pulls out a letter from Mr. Grunenbaum, dated June 9th, I believe it was, saying that we're not paying you until you sign a release. So he was dumb enough to sit there and lie to us in a room. We had incontrovertible proof. A letter signed by him saying that he had no intention of paying Officer Kays until we signed a release, or Officer Kays signed a release. That is what you're dealing with that administration.
And in the meantime, the interest is accruing on his back pay at over $50 a day for the city. It just keeps piling and piling and piling up.
So now when they go into Moakley Federal Court in Boston, not only are they going to have, you know, all the things that happened to Officer Kays with being slandered in the paper, losing his job for 2 years, going through the court process. Now it's they haven't paid him and they lied about it. And our attorney, Richard, he's licking his chops right now. He can't wait to get this into downtown Boston in federal court. He can't wait.
He sent certified letters to Mayor Phelan, Chief Crowley, Council President Gutrow, and the City Clerk Joe Shea by registered mail, stating his intention to sue on behalf of Officer Kays, the city, and Crowley personally. And the request, and I'm not speaking out of school because this was in the Quincy Sun. Somebody obviously showed the letter to the Sun. The requested settlement, the floor to start at is $500,000.
$500,000.
Besides the back pay, which is probably $200,000. So, you know, we're approaching the $2 million mark now with lawsuits to either paid or are going to be paid out by the city because of the incompetence of the chief of police and the command staff of the Quincy Police Department.
And this one here all stems to the fact that is this the one that he had fired from his bedroom?
Yes.
He was home in bed and he fired him?
Yeah.
And the guy wasn't even drinking? He wasn't even drunk?
He wasn't drunk.
He wasn't drunk.
Well, technically he didn't fire him because he doesn't have the authority, but he ordered him arrested for drunk driving, even though everyone said he's not drunk.
But he went to the hospital, right?
So, I'm sorry?
He went to the hospital.
Officer Kays did.
Right.
The supervisor at the scene said he wasn't drunk.
Right, and the doctors never said he had blood alcohol level or anything, right?
No, they never took blood.
Yeah, because they didn't think you had to.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
But Crowley
I'm sure the
ordered
doctors know when they see something.
Crowley ordered him arrested from his bedroom. And that's just another, you know.
Okay, Crowley orders him fired.
Ordered him arrested.
Arrested, I'm sorry. Who could fire him?
The mayor, the appointing
Only the
authority.
mayor.
So the mayor did fire him?
The mayor terminated him, yes.
The mayor terminated him. Is that because Crowley asked him to?
We believe so. That'll all come out in the depositions. And it's funny you say, another case, which is going to cost the city probably well over $1 million if it's not settled, is Officer Siobhan O'Connor, who was arrested for drunk driving by the state police. And it's clear-cut case of mistaken identity.
Is that the girl?
Yes.
Yes.
She was still about 6 months on this force?
Yeah, the trooper stated in his report that it was a silver SUV that passed him doing 100 miles an hour. Her car was blue. It's mistaken identity. In any case,
well, didn't the trooper admit that it wasn't her?
He said that the lawyer said, you know, is it possible that it wasn't her? And he said yes.
Okay,
it's possible. Okay. And he's since passed away, so obviously we're not going to be able to get any further with him. But it's another case of, you know, and we know for a fact because I attended the mayor's deposition for this, and this is all public record, so once again I'm not speaking out of school. The mayor stated that he relied on the recommendations of Crowley to fire her. And we believed that all along. We always said that he acted on bad advice.
Well, it came back to haunt him on the second Tuesday in November, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Well, it comes back to also the disparity in treatment of employees in the Quincy Police Department as treated by the mayor and his staff, is the fact that former Chief Falco's son
Yeah.
It was in the Ledger,
It was in
in the
Ledger
weekend
this week,
edition, I
yeah,
believe.
this past weekend, yeah.
All of a sudden, the Ledger's seen the light.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now they're starting to see what we've been talking about for 3 years now. You know, this. I mean, if you just read his record in the Ledger, the editorial, he lost his license how many times? It was
8 times or something.
but then, you
And
know,
use the identity of a dead person to try to get car
and the
insurance.
Attorney General's has a case against him, and he keeps his job. And Siobhan O'Connor, who got in a minor fender bender,
That's a good
was just
point.
dispatched, just fired in
Yeah.
2 days.
So was Officer Case. As soon as criminal charges were lodged against both those officers, they were fired. Whatever happened to presumption of innocence, due process? That's just that's inconvenient.
We're talking about Crowley now.
Right.
Let's go. Come on. Let's
Exactly.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is. It's it. You know, due process, presumption of innocence. He doesn't understand that. All he sees is a chance to fire a patrol officer, and he can't help himself. And we want to meet with Mayor-elect Koch, you know, or perhaps it'll be Mayor Koch by then. And you know, I want to reiterate that we were never promised anything by his campaign.
No.
We don't really expect anything other than fair treatment and to abide by our contract. But, and I've said it publicly enough, I'm not springing any surprises here. We're going to tell him we can't work for this guy. We can't work for Robert Crowley. We can't do it.
And the couple times we've been on your show, Don, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Oh my God.
With stuff comes, we'll talk about all the time. Different things come to mind, the things that he's done. And when you put it all, we're gonna, before we get together with Mayor Koch, we're gonna get together and we're gonna put it all together. And for instance, and it's something I always talk about with Bruce, is his appearance before the council on April 30th, and you were there. The disrespect he showed to Councilor Raimondi.
I know it. Yeah, I know it.
I've watched that a number of times now. I can't believe it, how he talked to him.
It's like he was talking to a petulant child. Is it something?
You know, he turned and sneered at Councilor Raimondi, and Councilor Raimondi was just asking him questions.
Yeah.
Pertinent, legitimate questions. And if you think that's bad, you should see how he treats us. We get in a labor management meeting with him, it's 10 times worse. When you're just trying to hammer stuff out and little give and take and make it better for everybody. And he just shows us nothing but contempt. And we cannot work for him anymore. We just can't.
Well, I mean, I know how, probably a little bit how you feel, because that day I was in court. You guys weren't there in the beginning when he came walking up, but he came walking up the hallway, you know, and I tell some friends of mine, I said, I wish I had my camera with me.
But I saw the little comment he made to you on the way out.
On the way out, yeah.
Little snide comment.
He made a comment on the way in, too. But, I mean, to see the chief of police of your city walking up, not to come up to testify against crime, he's come there to defend himself against the crime, you know? And he goes to open the door and he goes, oh, look at who's here, you know, and gets a little something to say, and which I won't repeat here, but, you know.
I was walking right behind him when he gave you a little shot on the way out the door.
Yeah.
You know what it is, and because I've studied this guy's personality. For the hour prior inside that hearing room, we were just kicking his head in, you know, just saying, and it's all true, abuse of power, broke the law. He had to lash out at somebody. He certainly wasn't going to do it to me. You just happen to be the convenient target. And you know, like Peter said, you know, a lot of this stuff you would forget. We got to sit down and make a nice, tidy little package. I mean, it goes back to simple things like when he was on the College Board of Governors, the Quincy College Board of Governors, didn't file his financial disclosure as required by law.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then he resigned rather than file it. Well, the law states that you're supposed to file it after you leave also. He still hasn't done that. So he's in violation of law. He breaks the law.
He's above the law.
He thinks it, well, he is. The Brockton District Court.
Brockton District Court proved that.
Certified, you are above the law.
Yep.
You know, but we, meaning a patrol officer, if we're accused of the slightest little breach of department policy or regulation, they bring you into the chief's office, take your gun permit, and send you out of the station with an empty holster. You know, the perp walk. You know, just to humiliate you.
And it's funny, in the Ledger yesterday, it was yesterday, New Year's, it talked about, it gave the eye-browsing moments, the eye-raising moments of 2007. And they talked about Joe McGonigal, Officer McGonigal, the whole dog situation down in the Post Island area. And it stated the facts. If you can look it online or look in the archives, it stated the facts of the case. And that was it. And it just put it out there. The Ledger just put it out there, the facts of that case. He was suspended for ticketing dog owners that just violate city ordinance and just let their dogs